this is a continuation from my previous video on how to configure your Ads Manager column. So previously I talked about how you can create a lead generation performance column, and some of you might be thinking, okay, that might not be so applicable to my business because I could be running in e-commerce or I'm selling my own products, so I should be tracking based on purchases rather than lead generation, and that's totally fine. So what I'm going to do is that in this video, especially for those that are doing e-commerce or you're selling your own products, I'm going to show you how to slightly tweak the configuration for the Ads Manager column. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to click on the top here at columns, and you're going to click on customize columns. Okay, so it's almost the same thing except that we're going to remove leads and cost per lead. Okay, so I'm just going to go through everything for completion's sake. We'll go with campaign name, ad set delivery, budget, amount spent, impressions, cost per 1,000 impression, link clicks, CPC, CTR, CTR, all these are still important. What we're going to do is we're going to remove the last two columns, all right, leads and cost per lead. So what we're going to do is I'm going to add in this word called purchase. Okay, purchases, we'll click on total, value, and cost. All right, let's click at the bottom here. And again, you might notice something familiar is that we have all these boxes here, which is really not important. So we uncheck them. Okay, we uncheck all of this. All right, so we get to see purchases, which means like how many products being sold. So for example, let's say you're selling an ebook right now and you have sold 10 ebooks at $10 each as an example. Okay, so the purchase will show as 10, all right, 10 ebooks. Conversion value will be 10 times 10, it will be $100. Okay, and if you're wondering how do we decide what's the value of the conversions, all that, I'll cover that in Facebook pixel creation. All right, and the next thing is cost per purchase. So let's just say for example we spent $100 and we have gotten 10 purchases, so the cost per purchase will be $10. So it's more like a break even going on right now. Okay, so I'm just giving you a simple illustration, and that will lead to one more metric to include, which is purchase return on ad spend, or ROAS. So some marketers funnily they call it ROAS, okay, or ROAS. So if I say the word ROAS, this is exactly what I mean. Okay, return on ad spend, or in simple terms for some people it's return on investment. So again, if you had spent $100 and you made $100 back, you would have gotten a 1 ROAS. That means it's 1.0. all right, now let's just say that the books are $20, okay, and we had spent $100, we had sold 10 copies, times $20 is $200. So $200 divided by $100 in advertising spend, it will be ROAS of 2. That means we're getting a 2 times return on ad spend. Okay, so that's exactly how purchase works. So what you can do right now is we can click on save as preset, and let's just call it purchase. All right, so that's exactly what this is right now. Now you might be running an e-commerce store and you would have probably a few more metrics that you want to look at. So let's go to customize columns again, and we're going to add a few things such as add to cart. So you can see that there's add to cart over here, total, you can also add the value if you would like, and also the cost. It's pretty much similar here as well. Okay, so if you're integrating this with the likes of Shopify, WooCommerce, or any other e-commerce platforms, so these are the things that you normally would like to take a look at. So actually you don't really need unique for this one. Okay, just total cost of add to cart. All right, so some people might even use a different term called initiate checkout, or IC. Checkouts initiated could be another term that you're using as well, but this depends on the platform that you are using. Okay, so with that said, you can put add to cart here and click on save as preset, and I'm just going to call it e-commerce. All right, so these are some of the metrics that you will normally be looking at when you're doing a purchase conversion value, or if you're running e-commerce, you will want to add on the add to cart. So you can have a look at how many people are adding to cart, how many people are actually making the final purchases. You'll be able to track and decide from there. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create a Facebook pixel, and later we're going to install this piece of code and put it onto your website. And this is imperative because this is how Facebook is able to track track the visitors and the data that's going on your website, and that would contribute to your conversions campaign. So for every action taken, whether it's a purchase or sign up or add to cart or anything like that, that is exactly how Facebook can track the data and send it back to your ads manager. So let's suspend all the geek talk over here and just get down to doing it. All right, it's rather simple really, despite what I'm telling you right now. So what we're going to do is that we're now in your business manager account, and we're going to go to events manager. Okay, so it's on the left, click on events manager. Now if you're seeing this for the first time, I'm using another account by the way, so it's rather a bit established somewhat, but if you're doing this for the first time, you're going to see absolutely nothing here at all. It's going to be a blank slate. Alright, so what you want to do is on the left menu here, you'll click on this green plus icon called Connect Data Sources. So don't worry about the geek talk and all that, okay? So just follow me step by step on this. Now I have to say that before this video was recorded, adding a Facebook pixel used to be a step simpler, but not to worry, it is still quite easy to do it, alright? Just with a bit of changes. So with that said, I want you to select Web, click on Get Started, and you will select Facebook pixel and click Connect. Now you're going to give a name to a pixel, which again you can give it any name you want, only you can see it, and if you don't like the name you can always change the name afterwards. Now for the purpose of this example, I'm just going to name it after a website that I will be adding this pixel to. Alright, so I'm just going to call it Shopodium Co. You can call it any name you want, and over here you're going to add in your website URL. Although it says it's optional, you can still put in your website, and if you're asking can I put this same pixel on multiple websites, that is still okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this right now. Okay, this is just an example. This will be your own website, and then we'll click on Continue. And yes, we're done. Okay, so what happens here is that we had already created a Facebook pixel somewhere in the background. I created this thing called Shopodium Co, and you might want to take note of the ID here. So at this point, we're going to add the Facebook pixel to your website. Now, this is where it gets a little bit open-ended because this really depends on what kind of website you're using. So I'm going to use, for the purpose of example, WordPress. One in every 4 websites on the internet is using WordPress, so this is quite a common plugin. So if you're using WordPress, you will just click on this, okay? If there are any other integrations, let's just see what else that's available. We'll click on select another integration, and there are other partner integrations you can choose from. So if you're using Shopify, which is a very popular e-commerce platform, you can also click on Shopify and also follow the steps. At this point, you had already created your Facebook pixel, and assuming that you're using WordPress, this is how you add the Facebook pixel. Now I have to say that this step is actually quite intuitive. All you need to do is, we're going to continue from where we last left off. We click on WordPress and click confirm, and all you have to do is just follow the steps, but I'll demonstrate to you using one of this available WordPress accounts or a WordPress website so that you can have a look at how this is supposed to work. Okay, so first of all, select features. I recommend that you just click on advanced matching. You can leave this alone. We'll click on continue, and then the next step, you're asked to download a plugin. Alright, so we just click on download. Alright, and then the next thing we're going to do is, now at this point here, it's like I said, it's rather intuitive. We're just going to follow the steps that is being shown here. It's a screenshot step. So what you need to do right now is to log into your WordPress website, and for this purpose I had done exactly just that. Okay, so I've logged into my WordPress website. I go down to plugins. So let's see where else it's going, right? And then it says add new. Okay, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to install the plugin. All right, so we go to plugins, we click on add new. Again, you have to be logged into your WordPress website. Okay, if you're using WordPress, this is exactly what you're going to do. We'll click on upload plugin, choose a file, and we'll select the zip file that we had just downloaded. Okay, and then we'll click on install now. This will take several seconds, and we are somewhat done. Okay, all we need to do is click on activate plugin, and yeah, that's it. Okay, the Facebook pixel has been installed, and if you want to be sure about it, there's this sort of like it's not really a warning, it's more like a heads up. Let's just click there for a while. Or if you want to go to settings, you can go to Facebook pixel, and you notice that your pixel ID number would already be here right away. So this also coincides with the ID number for this pixel. Okay, so it seems that we did the steps a little bit in advance. We're pretty much done already, and all we need to do is verify whether the pixel is working correctly. We'll put in the name of the website, which is shopodium.co. Let's click send test traffic, and what we're doing is that we're basically testing whether this works or not. All right, now this is a website that was just built rather quickly for the purpose of testing, so at least we know this works. And if you do it right, there'll be a green button here that says active. We'll click on continue, and yeah, we're actually already done. That's it. So at this point, setting up events, I'm going to skip this, it's not important right now. I'll talk about this in another video, but I just want to say that this is all there is to it when it comes to setting up your Facebook pixel on WordPress. As you can see, it's rather easy. We'll click close, and we're done.